Today I'm enjoying a nice cup of joe out of another one of our favorite mugs. This is Lucille's Roadhouse, Mother of the Mother Road coffee mug. It's out on historic Highway 66, and it's just a little coffee mug. It's basic size of any coffee house type mug you'd get, and it works really good for taking a coffee break. Which now gets us into episode 8, College Days and Dumb Decisions. College for Bob was in the early to mid-80s, and as I'm very fond of saying, I squeezed a 4-year diploma into a very tight 7-year program. College life. My alma mater is East Central University in beautiful Ada, Oklahoma. And did I ever create some fabulous stories there? That's a hint, there will be more. My degree was in speech communications, can you tell? I have a minor in military science and a minor in acting, and this story is about the acting part. And this particular story happened during my first senior year. Yes, there were several senior years. I was selected to be the lighting director for the play The Odd Couple. The director at the time, we'll call him Dr. G, was not willing for some odd reason to cast me as Oscar Madison, the role I was born to play. Okay, 3 years earlier, I did dislocate his knee during class, very violently, but that's another story. So I was made instead the lighting director with a staff of 0. Now, the nice thing about the play, The Odd Couple, is that it's a one-set play, so you make one lighting plot and up it goes, simple, easy peasy. But being the first show of the year, the only lights that were actually hanging were just the very basic to generally light the stage if someone needed to be up there. So we had to pull all the lights out and all the cables out of storage and get them ready to go up. So as I'm working on that part of of my job as lighting director, a new announcement's made. The student who was set to be Oscar Madison had to step out of the role. All right, not a problem. We're going to have another tryout. I tried out. And funny, I didn't get the part. So I took a couple of days and wrote down the lighting plot so I have a nice map of where everything's going to go. And it goes a couple of days and there's a new announcement. The second student to be cast as Oscar Madison had to step out of the role. But this time, Dr. G decides he's not going to have another tryout. He's just going to go recruit an Oscar Madison. 3 days or so later, he announces that he found the new Oscar Madison. And it was going to be a friend of his that was not a student at school. And he wasn't even a faculty member at school. In fact, he didn't really have any ties to the school at all. But in Dr. G's opinion, he was the best choice for Oscar Madison. Not the student who I humbly believe was born to play the role. Now, this is not an insult to me. Well, okay, it is. But life goes on, and I still have a job to do. But I did wonder if I could go back in time and not dislocate his knee? Would I? Would it even have made a difference to the casting? Yeah, who cares? I would have done it again. It was definitely worth it. But that's another story. 2 days later, guess what? Mr. Perfect says that this is going to take too much time and steps out of the role, leaving Dr. G 3 weeks into rehearsal with no Oscar Madison. This time, I didn't ask for a tryout. I didn't say anything at all. I just sat there prepping the stage to put up the lighting. Finally, Dr. G found me. He walks up and says, "Okay, you're Oscar." And that was it. Now, normally my go-to answer would be thanks, but no thanks. We really didn't like each other that much. But like I said, I'm born to be Oscar Madison. And this is a really excellent role. So, weeks behind, I just dive into the part and I start getting my lines learned, learning the blocking, and oh yes, I still need to get the lighting plot up. I kind of forgot about that. And now the basic set was starting to go up, and I really needed to get these lights up. But the next week we really needed to get off books, so extra time was needed for memorization. And so finally the weekend came, and with no rehearsals, my lines, well, sort of memorized, I could get in on stage alone and set the lights. Saturday, late morning, I went to the Dorothy Summers Memorial Theater and got to work. I went into the building using the back entrance. This is the window with the broken lock that leads down into the dungeon. And the dungeon is the basement where we build the sets, create costumes and the like. And it also has like direct access to the stage, to the lighting booth, to the catwalks, and the rest of the building. So I set off to work. First thing I do is I get out the big A-frame ladder that we use on stage to hang lights. Now this baby is massive. It's old. It's made of wood and mounted on wheels. And to top it off, it has a straight ladder that comes up out of the middle so you can push to the upper limits and hang lights way up. It's beautiful. It's like going into the riggings, and that I did. I went up with 4 lights at a time. Now, I don't mean I carry 4 lights. Stage lights are large and heavy, so you take them up, hang them on the ladder, and then this way you can go up, hang your first light, and then pull yourself along without having to climb down the ladder to get to the next spot, hang your next light. Pull yourself along and hang the third light, and so on and so forth until you get all the lights hung. Now, this is a perfectly safe way to hang lights. In fact, I absolutely believe it's OSHA approved. Maybe. After the stage was hung, I went up to the catwalk to hang the lights up there. Now, this is where the lights hang that shine on the stage from over the audience. And to do this, it constitutes sitting on the catwalk, leaning out over the theater, reaching out and grabbing the bar that you're going to hang the light on, and then swinging your light up, hooking the C-clamp that is hooked to the light onto the bar, and there is now a light that is able to be directed and plugged in and work fine for you. Thinking back, that's probably a little bit more dangerous than pulling yourself along with the A-frame ladder. Now, by late into the night, the lights were hung and wired. So I went back to bed, got up on Sunday, and I went back to the theater. This time, all I needed to do was focus each light, make sure the lights had the proper color, and make sure that there was no power glitches per each circuit used. Not much, really. The morning went well, and I got the stage lights looking pretty good. So after a quick bite of lunch, I set in to go up to the catwalk and get that work done. Now, getting up and down from the catwalk is a pain. So I powered all the circuits up from the lighting booth. And then I took my box of gels, and those are the plastic filters that you put in the front of the lights. And then I went to work to get these lights focused and gelled so we didn't have to go back up there and bother with them again. The first two lights went perfectly fine. Leaned out, grabbed hold of the bar, got the gel in place, aimed the light, got it to the right spot on the stage, pushed myself back up on the catwalk, go to the next light. Now about the third light, this is where my luck ran out. So I'm sitting on the catwalk. I lean out and I grab a hold of the bar right there next to the light. And at this point, when my hand makes contact, I realize that something is terribly wrong. This time, the second that my hand grabbed that pipe, I learned that this particular stage light has a short in it. And that short was running power through the light, into the C-clamp, down the pipe, and now through my hand, down my torso, and finding a connection to more metal right where my butt and testicles make contact with the catwalk. My eyes bugged out like a Saturday morning cartoon, and I let out a scream of pain, and I got my butt and my testicles as far away from that catwalk as possible, which left me hanging from the mounting pipe next to the offending stage light and looking down at certain death in the stage seating below. I had to come up with something. So I quickly realized that I'm in a pickle and that the light is still on and it is still shorting out into the pipe, and I'm hanging 35 feet above the stage, and the only way out is back onto the catwalk, which means more electricity is going to go through my body. But what choice? I mean, I am the only person in this building. No one even knows that I was going to be hanging lights this weekend. And even if I survive the fall to the floor, no one will find me until Monday afternoon when the stage crew comes in to work on the set. So, back to the catwalk. That's the answer. But in a stroke of pure genius or panic, you choose, I landed my tennis shoes first, and arching my back kept the tennis shoes as the only thing touching the catwalk, which insulated me for the moment, so I'm not getting electrocuted. But I'm not really out of any kind of danger. I've just changed it a bit. If I put my knees down so I can let go of the bar, I'm going to complete the circuit and start electrocuting myself again. And if I just let go of the bar, of course, I'm going to fall face first into the seating. Now, to say that I came up with a great solution would be very inaccurate. Because what happened next was that both my feet slipped out from underneath and dropped my pelvis and my hips hard onto the catwalk. And that made the connection. And the connection was actually made not just on my pelvis, but right into my very private parts. The scream is said to still be echoing in the theater to this day. But once my hips and genitalia made contact, I could let go of the bar. I rolled over and I laid there for quite a long time. I finally found the strength to get up, make my way back to the lighting booth, kill all the power, get back down to the stage, kill all the stage lights, climb out the window, and make my way back to my apartment. It was an interesting night. This was actually going to be the last time I was ever going to be a lighting director for any show. The next day, I did get some help, and we killed the power, replaced that offending light, and got the lighting plot finished and set. And we had a wonderful run of the show, The Odd Couple. And I do say I made a wonderful Oscar Madison. But I never went on that catwalk ever again. This was a lesson learned at the college age of Bob. All right, finish your coffee. I'll see you next time.